on, please. You've heard all our conversation here. We need answers from everything in that game. The referees were an absolute shambles.
This is a wild game. Where do you want to start?
We want to start with the Pedri goal, Christina, is what we want to look at first. So let's throw up the images here. Is it Christina who's going to take us through? Go ahead.
All right, perfect. So yeah, this is the one that we talked briefly about halftime. Leading into it, we have this cross going in. We think Pedri scores the back of the net, but what was leading up to it was a handling offense right there. And I want to be very clear, here we have deliberate handling because his arm is above his shoulder, around his silhouette. We don't have an accidental handling that leads to the goal scorer, Pedri. That was removed 2 years ago. So there's accidental handling directly into the goal. That has been taken away if it led up to it, unless it was the actual goal scorer directly. Here we have a deliberate handling offense, so that was the correct decision, and we do send the referee the VAR monitor to sell that for the fact that we had offside leading into that.
Christina, you mentioned it rightly, well, obviously you'll know better than us, that rule was taken away about the person who assists it with the hands. What you've just sort of said, deliberately handball. Now, I don't think that's right that he deliberately handballed it, but it's right that his hand was outside his silhouette. I'll accept that. But the goalkeeper touches it. I mean, we're talking inches in front of him. So the goalkeeper actually deflects the ball onto his hand. Does that not come into the equation? Because I don't think that would be given as a penalty if it was the other way around with the defender.
Yeah, and the important part to really take here is we're not looking at intent. So when we use the word deliberate, what I want people to remove is this concept of intent, right? Instead, the way we're being advised as referees is to look at it as factually as we possibly can. Is his hand beyond his body? Is it outside the silhouette? Is the right hand above the shoulder? Those are the guidance and the reflections that even though there is a touch by the goalkeeper, the fact that he has made himself bigger, that is what determines whether or not it's a deliberate handling offense, not intent.
So, Christina, then what you've said, you've defended that decision. I can understand his arm is outside his silhouette. So how can you possibly can't argue for the next one because it's exactly the same?
This next one's a tough one.
It's not tough, Christina. Christina, it's not tough.
Wrong.
It's worse. It's worse than the first decision because the first decision takes a deflection from the goalkeeper. That hand is outside his silhouette.
Wow. Takes the ball away from Ansu Fati, everything.
Come on.
That decision, Christina, that decision was the reason why we brought VAR in. I mean, it's a shocking decision that they can't give a penalty.
With VAR, what we need to be able to show is a definitive and clear angle that it, in fact, hit his right hand. Everything about this smells like a penalty. I've seen 3 or 4 different angles, right? The only thing we need to take away, did it hit his head? I don't think the answer is it hit his head. I do agree with you all. I do believe this is a handling offense, and it should have been a penalty. Here, this is the best clip that we have. Clip from behind the goal isn't well. There's one that's above high. That one should have been a recommendation down for penalty in this situation here. 100% agree and 100%, which I was a bit surprised because of the VAR is an experienced and well-established VAR for that not to be recommended down. He may have felt like he did not have a definitive clip to show that that was in fact handling, but
Christina,
Christina,
I mean, that was the most definitive clip you could get. You just mentioned you're not sure if it might have touched the head. Are you talking about the Barcelona player or the Inter Milan player?
I'm saying that final clip was the definitive angle that we needed for the VAR to recommend that down. I'm explaining that the VAR upstairs may have felt like he did not have a definitive clip, but with the whole football world and seeing that clip, that would have easily have sold it for a penalty.
So basically, with that clip, because everyone's been moaning about the time of VAR, they have not got the definitive clip that shows him handle the ball in the area and decided to go with that excuse is an absolute shambles.
I never say anything. Can I say one thing? I never say anything usually. I let it go all the time. Can you guys are allowed to say that you were wrong? I'm not talking to you. Is it okay in the course sometimes? Did they teach you that you say, I was wrong?
But she did say that.
No, but she's trying to explain. There's nothing to explain. He was wrong. Bye. See you. Bye-bye. See you later. He was wrong. It happens. It happened to me. It happened to a lot of people. He was wrong.
Chris,
the guy in the truck did.
Thinking about going solar, but not sure whether it's worth it for your home? Well, before you
call the referee, what was he on? I don't know what experience did he have. You don't need to be experienced. My son could have been, it's an handball. Could have seen it. My son saw it at home. He texted to me. He said, it's an handball. You have 20 billion cameras and you can't see it. Please.
Christina,
it happened. It was wrong. Bye.
Christina, you know whoever was in the VAR tonight, because I'm sure Xavi, the Barcelona manager, and the players are going to speak about this in the mix zone. Would there be, repercussions for VAR? Would they maybe not be put on the Champions League match day 4? Did he get assessed the way maybe referees get assessed as well?
Yes, we're all part of the referee team. So is this decision incorrect? In my opinion, yes. The answer is this is an incorrect decision. It should have been a recommendation for a penalty situation. So can we acknowledge that it's a mistake? Yes, we can acknowledge that it's a mistake. That being said, for the fact that the referee VAR had not sent it down was that fact that he thought there wasn't a definitive angle, which I think we will all agree to disagree with him on that. That being said, all of these situations are reviewed. Anytime you're on the referee team, you're always being assessed by an assessor, broken down. Why is it that he did not send that down? I gave you probably his explanation as to why he would not have sent that down. That does affect future assignments. And to put this into perspective, these are individuals who are being prepared and getting ready for the World Cup. So this is not something that will be taken and simply said, we're not going to move forward with this. There will be further training, and honestly, you end up sitting out quite a number of games for these types of errors.
I think he's going to stay home. He's not going to the World Cup.
He's going to have a month off now, isn't he?
Well, this VAR is not. What I'm saying is those that are leading into it, a lot of the officials that are working in Champions League right now are getting these final games in before this World Cup. So this VAR is not going to. So at least, Terry, you don't have to worry about that. But just kind of putting that into perspective, these are our final tune-outs before these games. These games are serious and the assignments are serious.
Look, I'm looking at the name to make sure that I hope we won't have him. Because if he does it like he does tonight, we're in trouble in the World Cup. This guy, I don't know what he was on. I have the name. I won't say the name, just in case someone's gonna write him a letter or whatever. But the names are there, so I'm putting the names on the side.
It's on your list, is it, Jerry?
It is right there. I'm just looking because they call it VAR. They have a name, and I won't name the names.
What if he gets assigned a Belgium game?
Oh, I'll leave.
Christina, we appreciate your time. Thank you for taking it all.
Thanks, Christina.